We have Barbara Messing, the Chief Marketing and People Officer at Roblox. Barbara leads the innovation and growth strategy, establishing Roblox as one of the most beloved brands in the world among kids and teens. Prior to Roblox, she was the CMO of Walmart US and TripAdvisor, and she currently serves on the board of directors for Overstock.com and Diamond Resorts. Welcome, Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Barbara, how are you?
Good.
I mean, talk about fandom. This brand, geez, that you must be loving life to be at the helm of this, because talk about true passion. Roblox has just an incredible fan base. I mean, this is where the product really just nails this question. But how long have you been there?
I've been Roblox about 6 months.
That's what I thought. So maybe a fun way to start before we go into it, because I think it's gonna be very native to this brand. What's been the biggest shock or interesting tidbit or surprise? Because I know you probably came in you got educated, you did your homework, you did your thing, but you know how it is. No matter what, there's always something once you get in. Anything stand out as a interesting observation 6 months in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the biggest things that I'm really excited about Roblox is how big the ambition is of the brand. I think everyone knows Roblox as kids and gaming, and we're obviously huge with under 13s and teens. I think where Roblox is really exciting is really about this notion of the metaverse, which a year ago, if you were like, tell me about the metaverse, I'd be like, really? But I'm really amazed by just how quickly the metaverse is taking shape and how Roblox is shepherding it in. And I think all these amazing new experiences we have on Roblox is really telling that story about how people are living their digital lives, like very much the way they live their lives in real life. And so I think just that trend and watching it come to life has been kind of mind-blowing.
Because of that, and for everybody, this Metaverse starts getting into these NFT dynamics. Are you finding yourself trying to explain the NFT craze to a lot of people because you have such depth of context because of the behavior that's always happened in this ecosystem? Are you finding yourself with friends, families, contemporaries? I assume you've probably been pinged many times in the last 100 days around this. Is it funny to you that 100% this NFT thing's going to happen because of the human behavior in the metaverse in your world? Like, has that been like a fun moment for you in a way? Because I'm sure for you and the executives in the organization, it's kind of like, duh, of course this is going to happen.
I think what's interesting for us is, virtual lives, virtual currency, virtual items, that is really how Roblox has been built. And I think digital natives really understand that your identity and how you dress and, how you show up with your friends and hang out, so much of that is very native to many people as being just as valuable and important in the virtual world as in their real lives. And so I think that's the super interesting thing is, I think there's a set of people where this concept of well, is that real or is that as valuable? They don't get that. But if you've grown up and you really feel like this identity you created is just as authentic and true to yourself as it is in your real life, then it feels very natural. And, we have tons of content creators on Roblox. We have an incredible marketplace. And so for us, it does feel very natural that, your attribution, your provenance, that would be really understood to be important. And that, even from the beginning, that notion of really authentic creation has been core to Roblox. So it's been really interesting to see this really take off. You're right. In the last few months, it's sort of one of those topics that's exploded.
But in your career, which is amazing, give us a story or two of really watching with your own eyes an action, whether through marketing, through customer service, of truly targeting somebody from a customer to a fan, which I think a lot of my fellow executives tend to think of that in the terms that I think, which is they see it as a customer to a better customer. And I think there's a big leap to being a fan, because now you're an advocate, you're a fanatic, you're almost irrational. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think when you get a real insight and understand hey, what are we doing on the brand level to make people really love us more? And are we really understanding what their needs are? Are we really building for them, right? As opposed to what's good for revenue. And I think the best brands really design first with the customer in mind and know that, your traffic's going to come, your revenue is going to come. Roblox is classically built on viral loops, right? So you have the creator economy where you have 8 million creators who are building up experiences that they themselves will love, that they think are cool. And then you have an incredible community of people who are coming because their friends have invited them and they want to hang out with their friends in these experiences. And then, more creators come because they see that that's where the communities are. More people come because there's more experiences, different types of experiences. And so I think that's when it's really sort of built because by and for the community is just the best way to say it. And, in my career, I've been lucky to work on other brands that have also been very community driven. And it's really fun. I mean, what ends up happening is they sort of spawn the growth of the brand. And, again, as long as you keep focusing on like building for them, I think that really helps.
Barbara, why do most companies and entrepreneurs on this video stream right now not do that? In your opinion, honestly, I mean, I think it's right, because it seems so basic, and you and I, we're big boys and girls now in our career.
Yeah.
We see so much behavior that isn't that. What are the cliche reasons and the watch outs that you've seen in your career of why people don't do that, or things they do, or things of that nature?
I mean, I'm sure I would love to hear your thoughts on this too. I mean, you obviously have built your brand. I mean, super authentic, really transparent. I love seeing what you are posting always.
Let me jump in to give you another second. Yeah, to give you a second to think about for me, it's people are either forced to, because they're a publicly traded company or they work for somebody, to have to overvalue short-term monies and not actually build a long-term relationship. So in your world, you're a major executive and you've got a board or a CEO or what have you, who's holding you accountable subjectively on short-term business goals, which then will create for you not to be able to do that. For a lot of people that are watching that are entrepreneurs, they want to make more money this year to buy a nicer boat or car instead of putting that money back into the business and build something long-term. So for me, the reason I've seen, that we even have to say things like, do it for them, focus on them, for them. Like, I don't want to make another piece of content creative on television or on digital that isn't something that somebody doesn't want to see. Like, the reason people make that mistake is they're worried about the short term. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. I do think the amazing thing about Roblox is we have a founder who's been building this for 15 years. And so this is the opposite of a short-term revenue-focused company, which is amazing. I mean, we have been always focused on the long term. And one of our core values is take the long view.
Love.
And again, like if you're building a metaverse and creating a category that hasn't been done, of course. But I agree with you. I think that sometimes people get focused on the short term. Fortunately, that's not the case with Roblox. Awesome. And I even think with TripAdvisor, very founder-based company, yes, very much focused on building for a sustained long-term business. But yeah, you're right. It's very much founder and CEO driven. And I think within the company, though, I think really having the customer at the center, bringing in the insights is really important. And I think that's where, if you lose sight of, what are you trying to solve for? Like, who is the sort of the bread and butter? What's your, magic moment you're creating every day for those customers? Staying close to that, I think, is super important.
Did anybody win you over as a fan, as you, the customer, during COVID, or let's say, if not, over the last 5 years? Anything stand out when I say, when did you become a fan of a brand?
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is going to be an obvious one for people in tech, but I think Tesla is an incredible brand, just because the innovation built into the product and the delight factor. I mean, there's some stat where you're really excited and then you get the thing and then it's kind of like, you don't really care. And I think that that is, a daily use product, which is always super delightful. And it's because it's really focused on creating something new and unique and also sustainable. And so I love the values of that, of the Tesla brand, just because I think the product delivers. And I love sort of the sustainability of what Tesla's doing.
Barbara, thank you so much. Keep up the good work.